Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here for your SmackDown Live review for the date of March 6th, 2018. And we, of course, are talking the Go Home Show for SmackDown Live going into the Fastlane pay-per-view. We were live here tonight from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we saw another show of the same old monotonous garbage on SmackDown Live. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'm talking about the fact that we've seen the same crap over and over and over again for weeks with these same monotonous storylines, which are realistically leading nowhere on WWE television. I mean, you have this six-pack challenge, I guess storyline you can call it, that they have with multiple different men, most of which don't even deserve to be in that matchup. And you see the same run-ins that you seen last week. This matchup has gone from a triple threat to a fatal four-way to a fatal five-way to a fatal six-way, and I'm supposed to, or a six-pack challenge, and I'm supposed to believe that this is even something that I'm supposed to be invested in. On top of that, John Cena, he says he's going to go towards WrestleMania through SmackDown Live. He's going to pursue SmackDown Live and see what they have for him. Yet last night he appears on Raw, but does not appear on SmackDown here tonight, while everybody else is seemingly fighting at the helm to gain some type of momentum and positioning going into this matchup. But of course, John Cena is barred from that. That's why a lot of people don't like John Cena, and it comes across as stupid and illogical. It comes across as dumbfounding. It is ridiculous that he was not here tonight. And the fact that he was there on SmackDown on Monday Night Raw last night just adds insult to injury. Alright, don't have him here tonight. Don't have him on Monday Night Raw either just to pop a rating. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but that is just one of the many complaints I have on SmackDown Live here tonight. The women and the over-scripting. Oh my god, the women sound absolutely terrible on this show. And we're going to highlight that. We're going to highlight that in a promo cut by Natalya and Naomi in the backstage area. Holy God, that was terrible. One of the worst goddamn backstage segments I think I've ever seen. But we also saw a good video package. It's amazing how the production team for WWE does such a great job with the video packages. Makes what's going on WWE television look like $1 million. Realistically, it's barely worth $1. I wouldn't buy that for $1, that's for damn sure. But we've seen, I don't even know where to go with this. We've seen more progression, I guess, in the United States Championship scene. I mean, WWE put Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal in main events for Backlash and all these pay-per-views last year. Nobody wanted to see it then. What makes WWE think that this is something that's going to attract people to SmackDown Live, promoting this matchup before the show goes on air? If anything, that's going to repel you from watching SmackDown Live. You don't want to see that matchup again. My God, I saw that in the listings and I said, oh, this is going to be terrible. And guess what? I was right. So that's pretty much everything we're going to talk about here tonight. There was a match between Becky Lynch and Naomi, or not Becky Lynch and Naomi, I wish. Becky Lynch and Carmella here tonight. We saw AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler escalate into a fatal five-way because WWE loves their multi-man matches, as I just mentioned. Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton and so much more right here on SmackDown Live. We're going to talk about all that. Really not that much to talk about. Hopefully this doesn't go too long. But I mean, before we do get into talking about all of that, I want to make sure to tell you guys to make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. And the reason I tell you to make sure to go check out all the other content is because there is so much other content to go check out right here on Ringside Wrestling. Of course, your Monday Night Raw review was uploaded last night. If you missed that, Ronda Rousey's official WrestleMania matchup has been announced, and Roman Reigns continues to be shoved down our throats. We talk about it all right there on the Monday Night Raw review, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown reviews each and every single week. So make sure to go check that out if you missed it. Make sure, of course, to like this video. Make sure to go check out all the other content from last week. And make sure to subscribe for upcoming content like your Elimination Chamber, not Elimination Chamber, Fastlane, the pay-per-view coming this Sunday. We have preview and predictions coming up on Thursday for that very Fastlane pay-per-view, as well as review and results after that show goes off the air on Sunday. So it's going to be a loaded week for content right here on Ringside Wrestling as we go towards the WrestleMania season, baby. Of course, make sure to support the channel before WrestleMania. You can do that by going to follow the Twitter account where we live tweet with SmackDown Live, Monday Night Raw, pay-per-views, NXT TakeOver specials, all that good stuff. So make sure to go check out all that other content and support the Ringside Wrestling channel by clicking that like button, telling me in the comment section below what you thought about SmackDown Live here tonight. Clicking that dislike button. I don't care. You don't like me? Show it in the like and dislike ratio. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel because it sincerely helps out the channel and it motivates me to keep going each and every single week right here on Ringside Wrestling. For now, we're going to go straight into what happened on SmackDown Live. And of course, this show starts off in the most dumbfounding way that they can possibly do it. It started off with Charlotte Flair and Ruby Riott in a very cringy, overly scripted SmackDown Live promo segment. I wanted them to put these women in a promo segment. It's actually something different than seeing them in 6-woman tags each and every single week. But I didn't know they were going to sound this awful. But here is the segment. It is Charlotte Flair and Ruby Riott coming face to face before WWE Fastlane. And let me tell you, it was nothing to ride home about.
Now, November 14th, when Charlotte won the SmackDown Women's title, she became the first superstar to ever win the NXT, Divas, Raw, and SmackDown Women's Championships. And I watched as the myth began to form. The myth that Charlotte Flair was the personification of the women's revolution. And that's why 2 weeks after you won the title, Charlotte, I formed the Riott Squad with one sole purpose: to destroy the myth.
The only myth that exists
Charbot
about
begins
me
to speak.
is that
Listen
I've
to
been
her.
handed anything in my life. I've had to work hard, probably harder than others, because of who I am. And the fact, Ruby, that I have accomplished everything you just said proves that I have transcended any myth about me. And the reality is, I am standing right here. And I am every bit as good as you've heard.
You know what? That's what makes this so exciting, Charlotte. Whether you were placed there or you put yourself there, you're on a pedestal. And all of that is on the line this Sunday at Fastlane. So when I take your crown, you will no longer be the queen. Your reality is gonna crumble. And you're just gonna be another bleach blonde failure with a famous last name.
So after that, the Riott Squad steps into the ring. Bobby Roode interrupts and pretty much saves Charlotte from a beating with that interruption, and that leads to this matchup with Jinder Mahal. But just to address this issue that WWE seemingly seems to be having with scripting these women, because these women sound absolutely terrible. There's no reason that Charlotte should be sounding like this. I am your women's champion, and because of the accolades that you just listed, I have transcended the odds. I mean, Ruby Riott, you can tell that she's trying her ass off. She's a tryhard. That's a term usually used in video games, but that's what Ruby Riott is when it comes to that microphone. When she was in NXT, you'd see her cutting a promo, and she'd be trying with the facial expression so hard, she'd be overselling it. And that's why Ruby Riott comes across as better now, because when you actually need to oversell what you're doing, because they don't give you a lot to work with, Ruby Riott actually goes to that limit. But these women sound absolutely god-awful, to the point where you call Charlotte Charbot. You call Dasha Fuentes the android, right? Because she's absolutely god-awful. She's absolutely god-awful. These women sound absolutely terrible. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. These women should not have to sound like this. I don't give a crap about anything that they said. And that's because they're overly scripted. That shouldn't be the case. They don't sound genuine. It's a problem. And it needs to be dealt with. But we move on here to Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. I mean, what can I tell you? This match was nothing to write home about. I mean, we've seen it so many times over the pay-per-views last year. Nobody reacted positively to it. And they keep giving it to us. My God. Anyways, Bobby Roode. Jinder Mahal gets thrown into Bobby Roode by Randy Orton. Bobby Roode gets mad, gets on the apron, distracts Orton as Orton was about to go for the RKO, allows Mahal to hit a knee. Roode gets knocked off the apron, and a coloss. So if Jinder Mahal beat Randy Orton here tonight, what I'm expecting WWE to do is give you that last-minute decision where they add Jinder Mahal to the matchup, and it becomes a triple threat, and that prevents Randy Orton from having to be pinned by Bobby Roode, right? All this garbage that WWE loves to give you. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd rather see Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode, but with what they did here tonight, this led me to believe that they're going to be doing Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal and versus Bobby Roode, which sounds absolutely god-awful compared to Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode, but I mean, what are you going to do? WWE for you, right? WWE for you. Anyway, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are backstage. Sami talks about being ready for the six-pack challenge. Owens is also ready, but reminds him that this is every man for himself. Owens reminds Sami how Sami previously said he would lay down for Owens if the match at Fastlane came down to the two of them. Sami says yes. Owens can't believe Sami would do that and says it's almost too good to be true, but Sami is a really great guy. Owens goes on about Sami, and Sami says people didn't start noticing all of this until he hooked up with Owens. Sami says his time will come, but Owens is one win away from main eventing WrestleMania 34 and one win away from becoming a Grand Slam champion. Sami says he will be so proud of Owens when that happens. Sami thanks Owens for everything he does and says yes, he will lay down for Owens at Fastlane. That breaks down into nothingness by the end of the show. We will get to that. Sami Zayn, by the end of the show, actually ends up pinning Kevin Owens. We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. Back from the break, we get a video of Baron Corbin. Terrible promo. What can I say? It was one of those phone promos. And then we get something that I actually very heavily enjoyed with Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev Day. So pretty much they were in a backstage segment, and it's Shinsuke Nakamura who walks up and pretty much challenges, or I believe Rusev challenges Nakamura at Fastlane. I'll play the segment for you guys. Very, very entertaining stuff. Nakamura walks up, and one of them challenges the other. I can't recall who right now. You'll see when I play the segment for you. And pretty much by the end of the segment, Nakamura accepts the challenge. It's going to be Rusev versus Nakamura. I thought they were going to do that here tonight on SmackDown Live. They're saving it for Fastlane. I like that. Gives Nakamura something to do. I originally would have put John Cena in that position, and we will go in depth in the preview and predictions as far as what this Fastlane card would and should have been if it would have been booked by me, as there's some music being played outside, whatever. Anyways, if it was booked by me, I believe it would have came out a much better show. I would have booked Nakamura versus whatchamacallit, John Cena, all that good stuff. We will get to that in the preview and predictions that will come out on Thursday. Just another reason why you should watch the preview and predictions upcoming this Thursday. But Rusev challenges Shinsuke Nakamura to a matchup at Fastlane. Here is the segment, and I'll give you my opinions on that in detail right now.
Shinsuke, with the WWE title being defended in a six-pack challenge this Sunday, are you concerned that your dream match with AJ Styles is in jeopardy?
Yes, but I hope AJ wins so that I can beat him at WrestleMania with a knee to the...
I like that catchphrase, by the way. Knee to the face.
You see what you've done? Last week with your knee to throat, you may have caused a permanent damage to his man's beautiful voice. It's like breaking the hands of Billy Joel. No
Billy
piano
Joel.
for the piano man, and no Rusev Day song for Rusev.
But you are not Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
Enough! You broke my friend. Face me at Fastlane, and I will break you like you broke my Aiden.
My Aiden.
I accept your challenge. But when I beat you at Fastlane, Sunday will be Nakamura Day.
Nakamura got some nice vocals.
You can't just make up your own holiday, bro.
And that's the line that killed me right there. As I pause this, that's the line that killed me. You can't just make up your own holiday. Well, buddy, what is Rusev Day then? What is Rusev Day? Absolutely fantastic. I love it, the way that segment came across. Some comedic break from the garbage that is on this show was that. But it's probably going to be a very good matchup between Rusev and Nakamura at Fastlane. Nakamura Day it will be. I believe Nakamura will win that. It's going to be a good match to see. Gonna put Nakamura on the card, but that's not originally what I would have done with that, and we will discuss that in depth in the preview and predictions. But it will be Rusev versus Nakamura at Fastlane. Rusev continues to be absolutely fantastic and entertaining on the mic. Nakamura came off across as good in the segment. Very, very good. I loved it. Carmella versus Becky Lynch. Not something that I was a big fan of. It was a decent match. Carmella, I mean, not a lot of people point this out, but she's sloppy in the ring, bro. She's very, very sloppy. She's not very clean. I don't feel like she ever came up from NXT with the best in-ring skills, and I expected that to get better, but how long has she been up there? She's been up there since the beginning of the brand split. That's like 2 years now. She should be very clean, and all her things should be very finessed in the ring. None of that. Very sloppy in the ring still is Carmella. They haven't really given her a lot of time in the ring. This is her first time in the ring in God knows how long. But Carmella, not doing very well for herself as far as the in-ring skills go. Becky Lynch, though, she was in there with a consummate professional, so it didn't fall apart too badly. I feel like Carmella was really doing her best work, not even with the Money in the Bank briefcase, not with James Ellsworth, but when she was in that feud with Nikki Bella, where we were in the very beginning stages of the brand split with SmackDown Live in late 2016. That was when she was doing her best work. We are far from those days. My God, I forgot she was holding the Money in the Bank. That's how long she hasn't been on television. Anyways, we go to Becky Lynch wins the match, as if that matters. What does that mean? This is probably just to get them exposure since they're not doing anything. I propose that they do Naomi and Becky Lynch in a side feud in the women's division just a couple weeks ago. That would have been great going into Fastlane. Keeping these women busy. Maybe even going into WrestleMania. Again, none of that. Anyways, we see a god-awful segment between Naomi and Natalya. It is Naomi issuing a WWE Fastlane challenge to Natalya. Absolutely god-awful segment. Another example of why these women and their microphone issues are a big, big problem, bro.
Lucky Becky Lynch.
Well, Carmella tweets a big game, but that's another fail for Miss Money in the Bank.
Well, I heard that Carmella was battling the flu all weekend, so that's why Becky won.
Right.
If I were you, Naomi, I would stay away from Miss Straightfire because anybody that's friends with Becky always ends up getting burned.
You know what, Natty? I feel like you just hate him because people genuinely like
sick.
Becky, unlike you.
I have a lot of friends, Naomi. I do.
I'm gonna
Name one
bomb
that's
it.
not a cat.
I am not going to list all of my friends right now.
I'm
We don't
gonna
have that much
bomb it.
time. Besides, I was sitting right next to Carmella when Becky challenged her to that match. And Becky's smart. She knows that she wouldn't beat me. That's why she didn't challenge me. Because she knows that I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Okay, maybe you do have a friend in Carmella.
I do.
So how about this Sunday, you and the Princess of Staten Island step into the ring with me and Becky?
I could use a little tune-up before WrestleMania. And besides, I'm going to challenge the winner at Fastlane for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Once I blind you with this glow and you get burnt up by straight fire,
Oh my
the
God.
only thing you're going to be doing during
Oh.
WrestleMania is fighting for space on your couch with two paws.
I'm dizzy, bro. I am dizzy after listening to that, bro. I'm absolutely... Can I pause this? Can I pause this? And that SmackDown Live music is terrible as well. My lord. Absolutely nauseating segment for both Naomi and Natalya. Holy crap. How many times did you hear you're gonna get burnt by the straight fire? The best there ever is, the best there ever was, glow. All these goddamn forced nicknames and catchphrases. Who scripts this garbage, bro? I mean, they came across as absolutely ridiculous. Holy crap. Oh my god. You have to have better for these women than that. You got to. That was absolutely disgusting. I wanted to vomit. Did you listen to those women? Natalya sounded so overly scripted. I can use a tune-up before WrestleMania. Why was she speaking like that? Who speaks like that? Who in their right mind speaks like that? It's all these social media references, two paws. Let's move on before I pop a brain vessel just thinking about this segment too much. Holy crap. Not even a child, not even an infant would fall for that garbage. I'm sorry. That is terrible television. And then you wonder why I made a video a couple weeks ago entitled SmackDown Live, the worst show on television right now. That is why. Ho ho ho. Let's move on here to something better, a lot better. It is the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, and he had some words to say to respond to what John Cena said last night on Raw.
You see, John's not the only one that has a win at Fastlane to pave his road to WrestleMania. And yes, he did say that if and when he wins, well, I can just have my rematch at WrestleMania. Well, John, that's not what I want. And correct me if I'm wrong, WWE Universe, that's not what you want either. I want my WrestleMania moment, and that's taking the most prestigious championship in the history of our business and taking it to the grandest stage of them all, the main event of WrestleMania, and defending it against the best. And he has every right to call himself the best. I want you, Shinsuke Nakamura. Who would have dreamed that this match would ever happen in the WWE?
I'm still doubting that it's
So
going
in
to
WWE
happen.
Fastlane, I'm not just fighting for myself. I'm fighting for us. Because trust me when I say this, it will be nothing short of phenomenal.
I hope
Let
so.
me tell you something about these people. The second you let them down, the second you let them down 1 inch, they will all stab you in the back. It happened to me. It happened to me. Listen, I'm gonna tell you a little story here, kid. I was told to my face, I would never be champion here ever. And somehow, some way, every roadblock that was put in my way, I kicked it down. And every time the rug was pulled out from underneath me, I found a way to overcome it. And somehow, some way, I won Money in the Bank and I cashed in that contract and I became World Heavyweight Champion. And everyone relished in it. We experienced that momentous moment together. And there's only one catch. They didn't deserve it. These people did what they've done their entire lives. They sat on the sidelines and did nothing. Meanwhile, all the way, I was proving night in and night out that I was the best thing that ever happened to this company. Whether they liked it or not, I am. And the fact that this many years has gone by and I've proved it every damn night, the fact that I have yet to have one singles match at WrestleMania is criminal.
That's a disgusting statistic. It really is.
So you can say us and we and them all you want. Those facts don't give a damn about your feelings. So your dreams and their dreams, you can take your dream match and shove it.
So there you go with that. That is what Dolph Ziggler had to say. And Dolph Ziggler, I mean, you're paying him $1.5 million. Guy is fantastic in the ring. Guy cuts a fantastic promo as well. I mean, but at the end of the day, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're probably going to end up doing nothing with him at WrestleMania. You're probably going to plug him to some 6-man United States Championship picture. But then again, one part of me is scared that WWE is going to pull some garbage where they have Dolph Ziggler actually pull out the win for the WWE Championship, have AJ Styles execute his rematch, and have it be Dolph Ziggler, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura in a triple threat at WrestleMania. Or do the same thing but with John Cena in that very same position. I don't know what WWE is going to do, but hopefully AJ Styles wins that matchup. It was AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler here tonight, and they put on a great matchup for the time that they went at each other. I believe this matchup was going to go at the main event. It did not do that because this matchup was interrupted by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They attacked in the middle of the matchup, which made it into a fatal 5-way when Shane McMahon came out and said, "You guys can stay right there, Kevin and Sami," referring to Kevin and Sami, because you guys are going to be in the matchup with Dolph Ziggler and AJ Styles. I'm glad it wasn't a tag team matchup. That's actually what I thought they were going for. Shane McMahon even said, "Well, you guys think I'm probably going to make a tag team matchup." Well, that's not the case. It's going to be a fatal 5-way with Baron Corbin coming out, adding himself to the mix. And that's what we saw in the main event of SmackDown Live here tonight. So WWE pretty much gave away 5/6 of their goddamn Fastlane main event. How smart of them. I applaud them. No, ridiculous booking right there. You gave away most of your Fastlane main event. But here tonight, the result, I mean, the last moments of this matchup were absolutely great. I mean, with the top guys that you have on this brand, trading finishers, trading near falls. AJ Styles looked like an absolute champ, broke like 5 near fall attempts, zigzag attempts, frog splashes, all this crazy stuff. he broke it all up, and they were building up the fact that this is going to be the mentality that AJ Styles is going to have. This is what AJ Styles is going to have to do on Sunday if he wants to keep his championship. I like how they brought that up. That's one of the only things I liked about this, besides the actual in-ring quality, which was clearly going to be fantastic. But the fact that they gave away most of their main event, and that they made even more confusion, because earlier in the night you had Sami Zayn saying, "Well, I'm gonna lay down for you, Owens. I'm gonna do all this for you." But as soon as AJ Styles was finally overwhelmed, he went on this total onslaught, taking everybody out, dealing on everybody by himself. Owens finally took him out, and that was the final moments of the matchup. Styles got knocked off the apron, and the brief moment that he was off the apron, Sami Zayn hit the haluva kick on Kevin Owens, and he got the 1-2-3 on his best friend. So apparently that's out the window now. And that leaves me in confusion regarding what we're going to see at WrestleMania. Because is it going to be Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania in a non-title matchup where it's just building towards them? Is Sami Zayn going to be the heel? He cut a very convincing promo for SmackDown Live to go off the air. It actually fell kind of flat the way it ended. He didn't get a proper ending. And that was because SmackDown Live, it has a cutoff as soon as 10 o'clock hits, so it didn't sound like he got to finish the promo, but the show pretty much ended with him saying that he's going to do what it takes because he is Sami Zayn. He's going to get that opportunity that he never got. He's been overlooked all this time. He's been one of the most underrated performers. So Sami Zayn gets the win. He screws over his best friend, and it leaves even more questions. Is it going to be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania against Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, or is it going to be both of those two names in singles matches, or all four of those names in singles matches against each other? So that's going to be the question going forward. That's the question they left going into Fastlane. And also, is AJ Styles going to be able to overcome the odds? Shit edition of SmackDown Live, but overall you saw some in-ring quality work for that last hour at least. And, I mean, they gotta improve the writing and the scripting of these women. They sound terrible. They sound terrible. But that is besides the point. That's going to be all right here on Ringside Wrestling for now. This has been Joel Perez. Make sure to go check out all the other content. Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, Behind the Mic, as your weekend presentation, pay-per-view reviews, pay-per-view preview and predictions. Both of those coming this week. Of course, make sure to go check out the Twitter where we live tweet Raw, SmackDown's pay-per-views, all that good stuff, because for now, this has been Joel Perez telling you to like, to comment, and of course to hit that subscribe button, and telling you that he is out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I will see you next time right here on Ringside Wrestling.